What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So super stoked and excited you're here again today. I got a great video today for you guys. Now, I've seen a lot of people asking for where to find great lower thirds, where to find great call out shots, and just really where to find all of these assets that are really easily made inside of Lumafusion. So that's what we're going to work on today, is we're going to create this right here. This is a great, quick little call out. You can use it for your Instagram. You can use it for your, as part of your intro, if you want it to be your YouTube channel, if you want to promote a TikTok, if you're using it as, if you're doing an interview and you want to put the name of the person you're interviewing. There's so many different ways you can use this. And it's really quick and simple to create inside of Lumafusion. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to jump right in. We're going to make one really quick. Before we jump in, let me go ahead and tell you some of the things, some of the little tips and tricks, I guess you would. So for starters, we're going to create this in a 30 frame per second timeline. The reason being is you don't want to be outputting anything at 60 frames per second anyway. Anything over 30 frames per second, you should be using primarily for any kind of speed ramping you're going to want to do. So if you want to record something and slow it down, you're going to want to record it at a higher frame rate. Since that's the fact, if we set this at 30 frames per second, we would be able to open that if we were wanting to get more of a movie feel to our video, and we wanted to do it 24 frames per second, well, we would be able to take that 30 frame and downgrade it to 24 with no problems whatsoever. However, if we did this in 24 and you output regularly to your YouTube channel at 30 frames per second, that would really cause some issues. It would look a little glitchy. So for the smoothest possibility, we're going to do this in 30 frames per second. We're going to do this in Rec 709 because we're not really going to be doing a lot of colors. And we're going to do this in a 16:9 format because that just makes it simple to translate across the board to anywhere you go. Okay, so as I said, this is our metadata for this project. We're not going to be working at all inside of our source window, so we can actually bring that down and we can really bring everything so that our viewer is as big as possible, because this is where we're going to be doing all of our work, and we're going to be working completely with titles. So we're going to start with a main title. It's going to start at 4 seconds, but I'm going to extend that out to 6 seconds. Yours might start at a different number. You really can fix that in the settings to whatever you want. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into our editor, and we're going to go to our title screen, and we're going to delete our title because we don't need a title in there. What we need is a shape. So what you want to do is you want to click your plus and then click shape. And now you're going to start with a rectangle, which we don't actually want a rectangle, but luckily we have a few built-in choices. We're going to do the 1 pixel line. Now you can extend that 1 pixel line out to be wider. You can make it a little more narrow. Personally, I like it just the way they have it. The 3 pixel line is just a little bit too wide for me. Okay, so now we want to come down here on our scale, and we want to make this line pretty much as big as we possibly can. And we're going to work with it pretty much in the center here. We're going to come down just a little bit, but not really that much. Probably right about to there. Okay, so now we want to come into our frame and fit window, and we have our line. So now we need to put some animation in there. So we come back to the very beginning, come into cropping, and you want to set a keyframe, and then you want to bring your right side in all the way. Now we're going to do this as a 6-second video. So we want to basically break this down. We want our title to be on screen no more than 2 to 3 seconds. And we don't want this to take a full second to come across the screen. So we're actually going to bring this up to about 18 frames. It's a little more than halfway. Hit our keyframe and bring our right side all the way out. Now let's come out and take a look at it and see how it looks. Okay, that's still a little too fast, so let's go back in. And we're gonna go back into cropping. So here's a really quick pro tip for you. If you ever had this problem where you just made your animation a little too short, go ahead and go to where you want it to be, hit your keyframe, and then you can go back to the last keyframe and delete it. And now that resets it so that this is your final keyframe, and let's see how this works. Okay, 1 second does turn out to be fast enough actually for this to happen. I'm not unhappy with that. So now we go to the end. We're gonna go back into our cropping screen, hit your keyframe again, come back 1 second, hit another keyframe, go all the way back to the end, and then we bring our right side all the way back again. Now let's watch this from the beginning. Okay, that's pretty good. I like this. So now, let's go ahead and come back to the beginning of this. Let's do another main title on top. Whoop. Sorry, let's do an overlay title this time. And again, we're going to stretch it out. If you have your snapping on, it'll take you right to the end. And we're going to come in, and this time we actually do want to keep the text. I do want to change what the text says, but I want to keep the text in here. And we're going to use my Instagram handle. And click done. And then I want to change the font. It as kind of my aesthetic here for this channel. I like to use the Arial rounded bold. It's honestly just something I did once, and it ended up sticking to be what I had ended up doing all the time. And you want the lettering to center and pretty much take up the whole space. All right, now we want to come back to that point where the line is fully there. And you want to come back into your frame and fit, set a keyframe here, and you want to go through another, let's say, half of a second. Let's actually do a full second. All right, come back to our first keyframe, and we're going to move our position Y all the way down under the line. And now we want to go and come back to the point where, once again, the line is full. Set a keyframe, come back 1 more second. Set another keyframe, go to your last keyframe, and we want to, again, move our position Y down under the line. Now we want to come back to our first keyframe, and now we want to come into cropping, and we want to set a keyframe here, and then actually go back just a couple of keyframes. I do this kind of more as a safety net than anything, and you want to bring your bottom all the way up to your line. And then now we just want to go through one or two keyframes at a time. And we want to make sure that the line here, this yellow line on your cropping, stays exactly at the bottom of the white line. Sometimes you'll do that. It's okay. It's a very time consuming situation, but it's totally worth it in the end, trust me. And now once you've got all of your text exposed, you want to come back to the point just before it starts to move. And remember, I do that safety keyframe in there. And we make sure we're bringing this up to the bottom of the white line. All right, so now let's take a look at it and see how it looks fully. Okay, I like this, but I want to add a little bit of motion in here, so I'm going to come back into my frame and fit. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keyframes, or 6 frames, sorry, set a keyframe, come back here, and now I want to bring my white up just a little bit higher, maybe to -7, and then down to 0. And we're going to do the same thing here. Set a keyframe. We're going to bring this up to -7. And now let's see what it looks like. Okay, so it's good, but because we started higher, we now have to go back and adjust our cropping a little bit, right? So this is where being patient can pay off, because you're gonna have to redo things. It's just the way, the nature of the beast. So you just want to make sure at all times that your yellow line is right in the center of the white line. thing about keyframing is it's very much a time-consuming process. This is why a lot of your more robust programs like Final Cut and Premiere, they have these set up, and this is why people pay a lot of money to get these made by someone else, and why people charge a decent amount of money for it, because this is a lot of time and energy that has gone into making something. And you know, sometimes people give it away for free. I'll give some away for free. I don't have a problem with that. But sometimes you know, the more work you put in, the more money you want to give for it, because your time is valuable. In fact, let me know in the comments, guys, if that would be something you would be interested in. If you would like me to put together a couple of little like call outs or things like that and give them away, I would be more than happy to do that, or sell them if it's something you'd be interested in buying. I would do it at a very low cost. So just let me know. Whatever you want to do, let me know and I'll do it. Okay, so now that we have this here, let's go ahead and we're going to export this out as a file or as a movie. We're going to set that, just set your location you want to do it to. Let's get it to 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. You want ultra quality. You want this as nice as you can get it. And you want to do this HEVC with transparency. Go ahead and render that bad boy out. And I'm going to just drop it right there. Alright, so now we've got that in there. Let's go ahead and we can delete our project we have, because we're going to come back in here. This is where we're going to go into our sources. And I have the actual file that I did this with. Here's our lower thirds we just created. But let's hold off. Let's get our Instagram logo on there. And we need to pull that out to, we're going to pull this out actually to 8 seconds. All right, and then we're going to, well, let's resize this first of all. Get it down to a manageable size, which would be about there. And in the spot we're going to be using it. All right, and now we come out. And we want to pull our lower thirds down, but we want to put this at exactly 1 second. So we want it, now let's open it up, go into our frame and fit, and again we need this down to a manageable size. It needs to kind of match size-wise with the Instagram logo. Actually, let's make this guy bigger. And then we're going to make this guy bigger. We want it to cover pretty much as much of the screen as possible, because you're going to make this smaller when you put it out. There we go, that's a pretty good size. And then we're going to pull this guy. I'm okay with this. I like this. Okay, so now we go back to the beginning of this, come down into our Instagram logo, create a keyframe, go back to the beginning, create another keyframe. And since we know we're 1 second on each, so let's go ahead and go here, create a keyframe. And another keyframe. And then we're going to bring this all the way down. Come to the beginning, all the way down. Now let's look at it. Looking pretty good. But again, we don't have really any motion in here. So we're going to come back in. We're going to come back 6 frames. Their final size here, 24.3. Let's bring this up to about 26. Back up to about 26. And now let's take a look at it. Okay, I can actually pull. I think the Instagram comes up a little bit too fast. So we'll pull that back about 6 seconds or 6 frames in each direction. Now let's see what it looks like. And the bounce is not really doing it for me. So let's go back. How about instead of 26, we go up to 28. Now let's watch it go through. And there you go. Quick and easy. You can take that, export it out the exact same way we did with the first part with the line and the title, and you can then adjust it to fit on any image you want. You can make it big, you can make it small, you can put it anywhere on the screen you like, because the original version we made was really big and covers the entire screen. So now we can bring that down without losing a lot of quality in the image. You can't stretch out a smaller one if you wanted to use it bigger, because you're going to lose a lot of the quality. But you can bring those big ones down and not really lose any quality, because you're not taking anything away. Or, I mean, you're not trying to add anything where nothing is there. You're taking things away. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really simple. It took me a few minutes because I was talking through it with you guys. But really, this is one that if you practice it enough over and over and over, it's literally going to be like a 15-minute to half-hour max to put this together. And then you can literally just drag and drop the different logos for whatever. If you have the exact same like screen name for every social media, then you can just drag and drop that logo. You can drag and drop a company's logo and put the person's title on there. I deleted the project. You can keep it as 2 separate projects so that you can adjust the titles how you want. There's really there's no limit to what you can do with it if you just play around and practice. So that's all I got, guys. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I do another video. I do plan to try to stick with the 1 a week schedule, 2 a week if I can get really lucky. I'll never go more than if I go more than 2 weeks without posting a video, I'm just really overwhelmed at work, and that's probably it. But I really don't see that being an issue. If you have any videos, content you want to see, if there's anything you want, please let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to look into if it's something I can make and making it for you. Also, guys, remember, let me know in the comments if you're interested in me creating something like a call out or some kind of lower thirds for you guys, and just literally just to give to you, and then do a video on how to install it and how to edit. Yeah, just let me know. Until then, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, keep editing, and God bless. I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.